Vitya Diaries Chapter 5, Unexpected Rivals, N. Why, wait, so dancing is part of your school finals? Me, well, yeah, I go to a ballet academy. N. Why, don't take this the wrong way, but are you gay? I set my cell phone on the dance mat and pressed my palm against the hardwood floor, stretching my leg until my toe pointed straight up to the ceiling. Gay? How was I supposed to answer that question over text message? And how was I not supposed to take that the wrong way? Gay was always a bad thing in Russia. It didn't matter who you were. But ballet had nothing to do with that. Bringing my arms around my leg to pull the stretch through my back with just a little more pressure, I let out another breath. Then lowered my leg and moved into the next position. It was a series of yoga stances that were supposed to help us with our performance according to one of our instructors. I wasn't sure if they really worked, but they were fun to do and easy enough. Extended triangle, she said, and we obeyed. I reached for my phone again, but thought better of it. Ballet had a proud and noble history in Russia. Men who did ballet were strong, manly. Like Felix, they had to leap high and far, dance for long hours, and lift lady ballerinas high above their heads and hold them in ridiculous poses for extended periods of time. If they didn't have the strength to do that, people got hurt. If male ballerinas went strong, they didn't stay at Vaganova. Gay, though. I wasn't gay, but if I said I wasn't, would Nico think I wasn't interested in him? If I said I was, would he refuse to talk to me anymore? Valentine's Day had been a success. My handmade card had ended up in his hands, glitter and all. We'd been texting ever since. Just the usual stuff, learning about each other's days, complaining about homework, nothing fancy, nothing too flirty, either, even though I got the chest flutters every time my phone vibrated with an incoming message. Nico, Nico, Nico. What if he wasn't interested? Or would never be? I knew I was cute. I had girls telling me that often enough in school, but that didn't mean that Nico would agree. It was entirely possible that he would never like me. Balancing stick. I took my phone with me as I changed into the next position, and typed out a reply with only a few grievances in form. Me? Of course not. Me? Ballerinas are tough as heck. Me? You should see me do lifts sometime. Though, I wasn't anywhere near where Felix was in that department. I could dance and pointy while none of the boys in my grade could, but I was also a lot smaller and lighter than they were, too. When it came to doing lifts, I had a long way to go, and my instructors were sure to point it out every single time we worked on it. You'll be growing soon, they said. Your body will be changing and you must take advantage of that. Work hard and build your muscles so that they can be ready for all that they're capable of. Becoming a man, they meant lifting instead of being lifted. Bulking up to be able to carry like Felix did. My legs were plenty strong. They carried me wherever I wanted to go and did whatever I needed them to do, on the dance floor and on the ice. I was fast, I could do impressive aerial maneuvers, and I could move in any number of intricate ways, whatever I required of it. I was just a soloist. Independent. But if I couldn't successfully do lifts. Vitya, are you texting in class? I looked up at my instructor, who stared down at the phone in my outstretched arms. You sorta. The girls next to me giggled. She plucked the phone from my hands and sighed, taking it to her chair at the front of the room. You may have this back after class, if you pay attention. I sagged, but thanked her, grateful that my phone locked automatically. At least there was that mercy. The last thing I needed was for that conversation to get out, even if I had changed Nico's name in my phone. PSSST, Vitya, are you texting who I think you're texting? Asked one of the girls. I blushed, and tried to ignore her. Oh my god, it is. That's so cute. Look at his cheeks. He's so handsome, too. Vitya, your hair is so pretty. What shampoo do you use? Suddenly, there was a barrage of attention from the girls in class, each of whom seemed to have a different burning question at the tip of their tongue. Ladies, leave that young man alone. The instructor came back, clapping her hands for attention. Yes, I realize that Mr. Nikiforov is the object of much affection, but this is class and we are working on our production of the magic flute, for which none of you are even close to being prepared. Now if you please, back to your places. We must finish warm-ups. They did, indeed, move back to their places, and I rubbed my neck while I waited for class to resume. One sideways glance caught the eye of Danya, one of the boys I shared several classes with. He frowned at me, and he wasn't the only one. I there. All of the other boys in the class were watching. Oh, okay. So do you do other kinds of dance, too? Junior Worlds was held in Ostrava in the Czech Republic at the tail end of February. With exams over until May, I was free to be lazy and wild with my time away from the academy. Thank God. It was definitely needed. I ran on the treadmill in the hotel gym. I went swimming in the indoor pool. I made coach go with me outside for a walk and ran circles around him. It was cold and I didn't care. I needed to move. I was so tired of being cooped up. I was so tired of it being dark, homework and dancing and pressure and stress. I just wanted to skate and be free. It took a lot of work to get the SIM card working on my cell phone, but I managed to get logged onto one of the computers in the business center, at least, and sent emails to Nico at night before it was time to wind down. I told him where I was, though he knew, and how things were going, that I missed talking to him. And I did, too. He wasn't the best conversationalist by any means. His texts were always short and kind of unimaginative, but he always replied. He talked to me. He was my friend. He cared about me. And he replied to my emails, too. Miska, good job making it to Ostrava alive. I hope you do well in your competition. My mama is really looking forward to seeing you on TV. Try to get gold this time. It's the best metal you can get in these things since platinum isn't an option. Why is that? Nico. So cute. I could hardly stand it. It wasn't fair. I had no idea how to answer his question, but I would get gold for him. I had to. There was no way I could lose with him cheering me on, right? Vitya. It's time to wake up. My body moved like a bucket of garden snails mixed with a sack of slugs, stirred up with marmalade. It was disgusting, and because it was so awful, I couldn't eat. Not a bite. I sipped tea, something I could almost always keep down, and went over the routines in my head while coach lectured me about consistency and composition. Don't do this and don't do that. Most of it just sort of washed over me as my thoughts drifted toward memories of the pillow back in our hotel room. How much nicer it would be if I could just get an extra day to sleep and not think about all of this for a little bit. Just put the world on pause. I didn't want to do warm-ups. I wanted a nap. A nap. A nap, a nap. Coach took me by the shoulders and looked me in the eyes and said, okay, then took me back to the room to let me sleep for a little while. It took only 20 seconds before I was out. Just like that. Then, just as quickly, he was shaking me awake again. Come on, Vitya, wake up. We need to get you down for the last warm-ups and stretches before you go on. I'd slept for 2 hours but it didn't feel like it at all. I wanted to cry. But there wasn't even time for that. I had to get makeup on. I had to get stretched out and warmed up. We had to get back to the venue. I rolled out of bed and finished getting ready with coach standing by. My short program put me in 4th. I hadn't scored so low in ever. I had no idea what happened. The winner of the Junior Grand Prix in 4th. That wasn't even a podium place. That wasn't even a spot in the exhibition gala. You'll make up for it with your free skate, Vitya, said coach, arm around my shoulders. You'll be fine. It was an easy program. What had I done wrong? How was I going to make up for it? The Popovich boy was in 1st. He would stay 1st. He would beat me again. I'm tired, I said. Let's get you something to eat. I shook my head. I only wanted to sleep. Coach forced me to eat breakfast. Toast. Tea. I felt so sick, but then he let me nap again, and that helped. He rubbed my back and that helped, too. For a little while, I managed to think of ancient forests, with dramatic rock faces bursting from trees and twisting paths leading to mysterious valleys. Unicorns, too. Long, pearlescent hair just shy of sweeping the soft soil that they trod upon. They sought princesses for companions because of their desire to protect the pure of heart. It was their duty. If I ever met one, I'd weave flowers in its mane and tail, and braid its tresses while riding on its back, and protect it, too. Unicorns have just as many enemies as princesses do. I'd learn to wield a sword to protect my unicorn. No doubt no one would come between us. Not even the dark wizard. Vitya, it's time to get ready. Even though I was groggy, I felt a lot better, and skated better, too. But while I landed all of my jumps, and though the announcer called it a moving performance, it was only enough to get me to silver yet again. I stood next to Gossaw on the podium, both of us stoic but for what I guessed were entirely different reasons. I didn't offer to shake his hand, but I did give him a nod. Russia took gold. After all, that was worth celebrating, even if it wasn't me who took it for her. Coach answered most of the questions for the press. I had no idea what to say. I was tired. So tired. Did you want to answer your emails, Vitya? He asked when we were finally on the way back to the hotel. Just the thought of it hurt. I couldn't face Nico. I couldn't even get gold, let alone platinum. How was I supposed to answer his email now? No, I said. I just wanna go to bed. The season was over, leaving me time to focus on classes without distraction. I had a break from the rink from now until summer, though I still went on Saturday mornings, and devoted the rest of my time to everything else, especially Nico. Which, not going to lie, was kind of nice after the crushing defeat of my second junior year. Since I'd given my only gold medal to Coach, all I had on my wall were silvers, some bronze, and a few ribbons. At least, as far as skating went. When it came to dancing, I had plenty of stupid trophies and other ribbons and stuff, but they forced us into competitions all the time, and I didn't really care about any of them. That was only sort of a lie. I did care. I loved dancing, all of it, just not the same way that I loved skating. Me, so do you have a girlfriend or anything? Why, no. Me, how that's surprising. Why, what is that? Me, you're just really cute. I thought for sure you'd be dating someone. Why, I'm kind of shy. Me, too bad. They're missing out. Why, Miska, are you flirting with me? Me, haha. Why, you nerd. Are you dating anyone? Me, nope. Why not? Aren't you supposed to be hot stuff? Me, who told you that? Me, haha. Why, my mama read it in a magazine. She collects them. There are photo shoots of you from Paris. Me, oh, me, I'm still single. Why, go figure. Me, guess I'm shy, too. Why, lies. Vitya, will you help me with this samba? I can't seem to get it right. We'd been practicing the steps for the samba for the better part of an hour, but the guys still couldn't get the turns right. I was tired, but they were desperate. Sure. I padded over, dance pause keeping my footsteps nearly silent, and offered my hands. The boy Edic took them and twirled me to start. How do you know all of the parts? Anyway, I shrugged, turning out my ankle, then back again, popping a hip. Quick step back into place. Lots and lots of practice with boys who haven't been paying attention in class, I guess. He pulled me back into his arms, then spun me out again. And you don't mind? Nope. I kept on the balls of my feet to keep the shifting weight back and forth light and easy, conserving energy and maximizing the fluidity of my body. It was all about momentum. It's fun. I turned my attention to his legs, watching the way his heels met the floor, and frowned. There's your problem. You're not centering your mass in the right. Vitya, he said, and pulled me close once more, dipping me down low. Tell me. I braced myself against him so I wouldn't fall, one arm around him, one leg extended out for balance, and stared up at him. This wasn't part of the routine, but I was adaptable enough to roll with it. The other guys had stopped to watch us, most of whom I'd danced with before. Edic ran his hand along my cheek. Does this turn you on, Vitya? Do you want me to kiss you? I blinked. You're not that good of a dancer. He frowned, but the other guys laughed, and it sounded a lot like relief. Then he set me on my feet again, and I moved back into the routine, trying to put it out of my mind that it had even happened, which was an impossible thing to do for several reasons. Embarrassment, mortification. I was insulted, too. They would have been lucky to have me as their boyfriend. Any of them. Stupid boys. So are we doing the samba or what? I barked at him, and he got back to work, too. Cripes. Sorry, Vitya, he said, and put a little more care into his footwork. At least he'd paid some attention to my criticism. It's just, some of us were wondering about the girls. They all seem to like you a lot. So we want to know if you're really competition or not. What do you even mean? Edic looked for help, because apparently having a serious conversation while trying to dance with someone who actually knew how was too complicated for him. Well, I stopped him. No, seriously. What? If you're gay, you should tell the girls so that they'll stop chasing you. One look around the room confirmed that all of them felt the same. The stupid boys in the class were all worried about it, about me stealing the girls on campus from them, as if I had anything to do with their lack of finesse. I sucked in a breath, held it for a moment, then let out a huff. Look, I can't control who is and isn't attracted to me. That's not my problem. If you guys can't get a date, that's on you, not me. I just want to dance, okay? That's all I'm here for. And if you guys don't stop thinking with your dicks and start dancing, you're gonna get kicked out of the academy. They all stared at me, half in surprise, half in shame, justly chided. It felt good to be the smallest, angriest, and for once loudest person in the room. I sniffed, huffed, and went for my track bag. Wait, Vitya, Edith cried. I really do need help. Yeah, you sure do, I muttered, hoisting it over my shoulder. Go talk to a girl for some help if you're really that desperate. This is a waste of my time. Vitya. I stormed off. Without the distractions, I passed my exams. I got the best grades I'd ever gotten, even with texting Nico all the time. Maybe because of that, the girls continued to tease and flirt with me, and the boys were wary. I ignored them all. Felix was the only one I talked to when I didn't have to, and he was gone most of the time with his girlfriend. We'd have another year at Vaganova Academy together. Several of the other guys wouldn't be coming back. The number of spots available narrowed every year, so being good wasn't enough. It wasn't my fault if the wolves weren't willing to keep up with the pack. Why? So how did your interview go? Me? Pretty well. I mean, I made it. So it must have gone okay. Why? What did they ask? What color your tutu is? Me? We don't wear tutus on this track, Nico, only the ladies do. Why? I'm kidding. Me? No, they asked about my career projections and who my heroes were, that sort of thing. What I thought about ethics and hard work. Easy answers about Russian traditional values. Why? So who are your heroes? Me? I told them Scrooge McDuck. Why? What? Me? I'm serious. Why? What? Me? Have you ever read the comic? Why? There's a comic. Me? He turned a crappy American dime into billions of dollars despite being screwed over hundreds of times. He had a dream and he never gave up. He kept fighting. Why? You've given this a lot of thought. Me? And I really like his hat. Why? Wow. Why? What did they say? Me? They asked if I had any Russian heroes. Why? Who are your Russian heroes? Me? My coach and Tchaikovsky and the president of Vaganova Academy. Why? Good Miska. Too cute. Nico was the best company to have, especially with Felix already gone home for the summer. It was the last day of the semester, and I was already packed up. My aunt and uncle were coming in the afternoon to take me home. That left me with 3 hours to kill, so what did I do? I went to the rink. Coach was there, of course, and so was a pair of our ice dancers, working on their routine for some show. That's all they did during the off-season. It was good for making money as far as I understood, but could be a slippery slope with the ISU. Only amateurs were allowed to compete. After all, if you got paid to perform on a regular basis, you were considered pro. But really, weren't we all professionals in our own right already? Geez. I stayed on the sidelines working on drills, working through the endless quagmire of program ideas. What theme? Love, maybe? Young love, or adventure. I was in for a long and boring summer break. But now that I was 15, I would be allowed to take the train by myself to the rink instead of having to get rides back and forth between the house. The long commute would be perfect for texting and planning, and the bus transfers would give me plenty of opportunity to explore the city. Finally, freedom. It was only 3 days a week, but I would take what I could get, especially when it meant getting out of the house. And maybe I hadn't done so well at Nationals or Worlds, but I could use every waking moment to make sure that I was ready for my senior debut. No more mistakes. It'd be utter perfection. The new season held so much promise and potential. Fifi was already emailing me about a time to come back to Paris for another photo shoot and consultation. The mornings were bright and sunny, and Nico, my cute boy, the boy, was in my pocket. It was gonna be okay. Love, adventure, freedom, all good themes to play with. I set up a jump, twisting hard once my toe pick left the ice to turn it into a flip, and nailed the landing with perfect follow-through, sailing out with extended leg, hind arms out. Vitya. Coach called me from beyond the barrier. Come. I took my time making my way to him between swizzles and crossovers. What's up, coach? Off the ice. In my office. He held up my guards. There's something I want to talk to you about.